Hey everyone, am I the only one that's sick and tired of being stuck inside, thinking about all the great things that I'm missing out? So whether it be vacation this summer, whether it be a graduation or a birthday party, or spending time with family on during holidays, how many of you are tired of hearing about this COVID virus? Well, the answer is we all should be aware of what's actually happening, what's going on. But to me, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better solution than all of us being locked down for what they're now telling us could be anywhere from 6 months to even a year till this we get a handle of actually what's going on. So welcome to my presentation called A Better Way. So I want to talk to you about how we can start changing this conversation into we are stronger than a virus. Dr. Chris Arnold here from Livewell Chiropractic and Wellness Center. And if you want to join me in this crusade to actually get our lives back, everything that we've worked, our freedoms, our liberties, and our way of life that we've worked so hard to strive to get is just slowly eroding and fading in front of us. How many of you would like to return to that? I'm going to need your help and I'm going to need your assistance. So if you're with me, I want to see thumbs up. I want to see hearts. I want to see some replies to actually how we can actually get there. And I want to show you my game plan because I've been frustrated with it. I'm hearing the frustrations from all the people I've been talking to on a daily and weekly basis. We all want to be done with this and move on. But there has to be a better way than what we're presenting right now. And that's what I want to talk to you about. This takes me back to a quick story that I've learned a long time ago as a young person that's really stuck with me. It has to do with Albert Einstein. He was a college professor and stuff. The story goes that one day he was passing out a test to all of his students. The students opened up the test and started to look over it. And then someone raised their hand and said, Dr. Einstein, do you know you already gave us this test? And Einstein goes, yes. The questions are the same, but the answers are different. Meaning is yes, even though that the questions are the same as last year, their understanding, their knowledge, if they were learning and a student should have evolved and they should have got a better answer to some of those questions that they answered last year. And that's where we're at right now. We're in this age-old question. We're still trying to answer the same questions about being healthy and well and surviving and having the most abundant life possible. That's where we are at. And we're trying to answer these questions. And each year, we're trying to evolve that. And where we're at is right now, we're not evolving. We're being stuck with, I think, some limited thinking. Because here's where we're at in this situation. How many of you people have been watching the news and realize is, you know, after $2 trillion, our country spends the most money, we'll get to in just a second, on healthcare than anyone else in the world. And what do we have to show for it? The only thing they have to show how to combat this virus is about flattening the curve. Do you know what the flattening the curve is? Let's all flatten the curve. We want to flatten this curve. That's all saying is we have no clue of actually how to help people solve this issue. So what we want to do is spread the number of deaths and illnesses out over a longer period of time so we can prolong this thing, right? That's what they're doing. How they're proposing to flatten the curve is stay at home, you know, wear masks so we're not on contact, no hugging or high fives, stay at home and just hope and pray that this thing might get better, or let's wait a year, 18 months for a vaccine that'll help us combat this. If that's the best scenario, those are all the answers. I don't want those things. I want my life back now. And the answer is if we evolve our thinking and we think at a different level than just, you know, flattening the curve, then we can go to a different level. Because when I wake up in the morning, my thought process isn't just about how I can flatten the curve. I'm thinking about how I can help my family, my wife, my 3 teenage kids, my parents, all live a happier, healthier, abundant life. That's what I want to get up in the morning and be excited about. Not, let's just flatten the curve a little bit more today. Let's just all stay home. Let's just hide in hermits so we can just flatten the curve a little bit. That's just rolling over and just taking the beating. I don't want to do that. I want to stand up and I need all your help to do that. So let's talk about how we can do that. And it's all about becoming bulletproof. Bulletproof in your body, your health, and your immune system. We can actually overcome this together. Because here's what I do know is everyone is focusing on the strength of this virus, how virulent, how strong it is. But everyone's missing is the strength of the host. We're missing about the people that's involved in this situation, the people that are fighting this virus. We're taking us out of the equation, and all we're talking about is virus, how quickly it's spreading, how much death it's causing. But the truth about it is that's not the whole equation. We need to look at the entire equation so we can see the answers that are right in front of us. So here's what most people are missing and misunderstanding is that we were all born superheroes, right? How many of you have ever dreamed of ever being a superhero, right? I think we all have. My favorite one was Superman, right? You know, soaring through the air, you know, leaping from tall buildings, you know, being able to pick up anything you want to, you know, being invincible, right? You know, all these movies and stories about him, you know, being squashed and he just bounces right back, you know, being invincible. That's what we were all dreamt about with being superheroes and superpowers. And the truth about it is we were all born superheroes. We all have this amazing potential to be healthy and well, but somehow we have become weak. We have lost our superhero ability. That's what is causing this whole issue. And I want to make sure you hear that again. We were born superheroes, but we have become weak, right? And I want to show you why that is and how we can change it. So how we become weak is because we're misunderstanding what causes health. Everyone wants to talk about these three components of the health equation: lifestyle, things that we do, genetics, and environment that causes us to be sick and ill or either healthy. But a lot of people think that this is kind of a blend between these three. They're all equal. Or some people believe it's genetics, which is the biggest answer. The truth be told is the one that controls the most, and 90% of your health outcome is your lifestyle things. Those are choices you make on a daily basis of actually if you make you healthy or ill. Genetics, the answer is a small portion, only 10%. I'll show you why. But quick story about genetics happens to make me think of a patient one day was saying that, oh yeah, it's just in my genes, you know, my father, my grandfather, all that stuff, all had heart disease, all had diabetes, you know, had all these problems, you know, I'm basically doomed because it just, genes, the bad things just run in my family. And the punchline of the story is no, those things don't run in your family. It's just no one in your family runs, right? No one is making the choices to be healthy and well, to have a better health outcome. We all want to blame our parents and our grandparents for our health outcomes, and the answer is that's not true, because here's what we do know. Just look at the last 30 years here, from 85 to 14 or 15, we look at the rates of obesity has dramatically skyrocketed, but we know our genes have not changed over the last 37,000 generations of people. How we were eons ago, our genes and our genetics have not changed a whole lot, even though our obesity rates are going through the roof. Even look at 2020, we know these obesity rates are even higher than they were even 5 years ago. And we look at young boys and girls, tendency to become obese is going through the roof. What does that have to do with it? There's health outcomes or consequences when we have poor lifestyle choices that lead to obesity. And it's called COVID-19. This is when you have our obesity, when we have poor health choices, you have a higher risk of developing this disease. Do you hear me? When you make poor health choices and you have obesity, you're at higher risk of developing. So what can you do? Let's change you and change your body weight so you can actually decrease your risk factors. And I'll tell you at the very end how you can be part of that. But I do know right now, today, we have never been sicker as a country. Never, ever been sicker, because it's the first time in the history of man, the children born after the year of 2000 are not expected to live as long as their parents. They're not expected to live long as your parents, because life expectancy kept increasing. And we were patting ourselves on the back. We were figuring all this stuff out with our health and stuff and how we can live longer. But all of a sudden we've hit the ceiling, and now we're starting to come down. That we've actually lost about 7 to 8 years of life expectancy. Our children and grandchildren will live less shorter lives than we will today. It's shocking. So how do we end up with this? So here's a good example. This is risk factors for heart disease. Question is why in this middle section of the country is heart disease such higher rate than the ends through the East Coast and West Coast? Is it the genes are different? No, we're not all that different genetic wise. It's just that their lifestyle choices are different in that part of the country. We know cancer rates are going through the roof. We know in the last probably 50 years, the rates of cancer are going to double and triple. So are we winning this war on cancer? No, we're losing it pretty handedly. And then we start looking at the pace of prevalence of chronic health diseases. You can see from 95 to 2013, it's going to be about a 50% increase in the rate of chronic health issues. What does that mean? Chronic health issues are issues that affect your health that you're going to have to fight for a long period of time or really for your lifetime. So the diabetes, heart disease, cancers and stuff that you really never eradicated, you're just only managing the symptoms. That's chronic health issues. That's what's causing a lot of problems. And then we also look at the cost factor that's involved in these poor health decisions. And we know all of the countries in the world, if we divide up how much money they spend for healthcare, on average is about 8% or 9% of their gross domestic product, how much they produce. The United States spends twice the average amount at actually 16% or 17%. But what does that get us? We're only the 35th healthiest country by spending the most amount of money. We only end up at 35. WTF, right? You know, what's going on here? Why are we spending all this money and getting such poor outcomes? Is because the money we're spending is not being spent the right way, because we're believing that this somehow badass virus is causing all the problems. And the truth about it is that we don't have a badass virus. It's just that we're not as badass as we used to be, right? We don't have the same strength. We don't have the same immunity as we did because we've become weak. We have basically allowed our superpowers to become weak. So how do we change this? Is we need to start understanding our immune system and how it works, because our immune system is this amazing, what we call invisible shield that's around us all the time, that's protecting us from germs and viruses that are around us. These viruses are not something new today. We've been around germs and viruses all of our life. You know, in the average winter, we're exposed to over 900 different viruses that can cause the flu, right? Viruses around us all the time. Why all of a sudden just one virus is now causing this problem for people to be germ aware, germ phobic? People, you don't have to be if you trust in this invisible shield that's around us called our immune system. That's what keeps us bulletproof. So let me look at actually and show you and teach you actually how this system works. And it's quite amazing. It's the superpower that all of us were born to have, that when a baby, which is an amazing creation, is created and comes into this world, it comes in the world blank, meaning his immune system has basically nothing at all. It's never been exposed. It's never learned how to fight off a virus or bacteria. So why are babies sick all the time? Because amazingly, they get their immune system, or at least the early stage immune system, from what? Their mother, through breast milk. That starts boosting and bolstering their immune system and building it up. And then all of a sudden that breast milk starts to affect the gut. The gut then starts to build a wall and defense mechanism to protect any viruses that get and enter the gut. And then all of a sudden the body starts to build up its own innate immune system called T cells, that now all of a sudden it doesn't need the mother's help anymore. Mother's is kind of like a crutch or a blanket that protects it, at least initially. Then baby builds its own T cells and actually stays healthy and well. How does a baby build those T cells? See it happen all the time. It's what? Sticking stuff in its mouth, the thing that we're told not to do right now. Baby sticks germs in its mouth. Guess what? T cells produce. T cells fight it off. Then the baby's immune system gets stronger. It gets stronger. Research after research has shown the kids that live in the cleanest environments actually have the least healthiest immune system. Kids are exposed to dirt and germs on a regular basis, have a strong immune system, and can strongly fight things off. So germs are not the enemy. They are actually a friend and actually make us healthier if we have that immune system in the right way. And then all of a sudden, we actually have secondary effects of our immune system working that we sometimes misunderstand. So whether it's the fevers and stuff, what is fever doing? It's increasing temperature body. And we know heat does what? It kills germs, people. Please do not fight fevers let fevers kill things off. They'll get over much quicker, much faster. And then there's vomiting. Why is your body expelling everything from your stomach? Because you got something there that shouldn't. It shows how smart and how intelligent that immune system is protecting your body. That shield we take for granted is protecting you 24/7 at a high level to keep you healthy and well. And it works really, really amazingly well. That's our superpowers. You're born with them. You didn't have to earn them. You didn't have to train them like superheroes do. They just immediately are innately there. But then what happens is there is a effect of us losing our superpower. There's an effect of us becoming weak, and it's called what? The world shut down. That's why we're in a situation we are today. That's why we can't go outside. That's why we can't visit our family. That's why we can't go to our favorite restaurant or grocery store, or visit family and go to support loved ones that are sick and ill. That's why we're in, because we've lost our superpowers, and the impacts of us getting weak is that COVID-19 happens and the world shut down. So how do we change this? Is let's stop focusing on the virus. Let's start talking about how we can talk about strengthening the host. It's time to change this conversation. It's time to take it away from this virus. It's time to get back to us, because I want to empower each one of you how you have the potential to live a life that's fully abundant, where you don't have any concerns and cares about viruses around you, and you can do it easily and very effectively, and actually very cheaply if you just make the right steps. So I want to tell you about that. So how do we do that? First of all, number one is who's responsible for your health? Kind of seems like an odd question, but let's talk about that, because that's number one. Who's responsible for how healthy you are? Is it your medical doctor? Is he the one who keeps you healthy? Is it your wife? Is it your parents or grandparents? Is it the genes that you were given? Is it your accountant that does that? Or even about your insurance carrier, right? It's you have the best insurance, so your insurance is going to only pay for things that keep you healthy and well, right? Do they pay for water and vegetables and exercise? The answer is probably not always. So it's not really any of those above that's keeping you healthy and well. It's you that are responsible for your health. So what do we need to do? If you're responsible, number three reason I want to share with you is actually going to be the best one and the most one that controls everything else. I'm going to come back to that at the very end, but I want to jump back into and talk about number two, which is we have lowered our expectations of what we think health is. What do I mean by that? Everyone thinks that they're either two things, either sick or healthy. Either we're healthy all of a sudden 1 minute and all of a sudden we're sick. We just oscillate between these two halves. And the answer is that's not true. There's this middle ground that people miss in, where you actually go from you're not really sick, but you're not really healthy, because it's very easy to drift right back into that sick thing. If you're really, really healthy and well, you wouldn't become sick in the first place, right? Health is something that's self-evident, and it's going to prevent your body from getting sick. And it's a completely different opposite thing. But most people really get stuck into this either sick or not sick, toggling between those two, and not really getting to experience what true really health is. And that's where we need to evolve, so we can all, as a individual, as a family, as a city, as a state, as a country and a world, move past this virus that is just wreaking havoc with us because we've lost that superpower. So when we look at this health continuum, this is where most people are, or everyone spends time on this health continuum. You're either going towards high level of health and wellness, where you're going really far away from disease and health issues, or you're drifting towards the other direction, which is all about premature death. It's all about losing your health and about helping diseases show up. And the fact about it is this continuum is always dynamic. You are always fluid. You're always moving. You're either moving to the left of this, where you're actually getting less healthy, or you're moving to the right of this, where you're actually becoming healthy. So we want to make sure as we know what is moving you in which direction. But I'll ask this question right now before we move on. Which direction are you moving at right now? Are you moving towards health, or are you moving away from health? Is each day getting healthier, or is each day getting you closer to developing another disease or issue? We got to change that. We got to find out which way you're moving, and if you're moving the wrong direction, how we can change that, and how we can change it with enough momentum to actually get you in a healthy way. Because here's where most people miss the big boat and miss the concept of how we get healthy, is because basically we are looking at layers of health and where we spend our time. Everyone thinks healthcare is all about the treatment of diseases. When you have a disease, let's treat that disease and then you become healthy. And the answer is no, you just don't go. We talked about that, from healthy to non-healthy. You just go into not being sick, into this middle ground, because what it takes to go from that level then is prevention of disease, right? We want to even prevent us from getting disease. So whether that's choices, lifestyle things like the COVID thing, it's all about, not giving high fives, hugs, social distancing, all those things. But that's going to prevent us from getting the disease, but it's not going to really make us healthy, because here's where we're at with the prevention of disease. High fives and hugs and masks all work, but eventually we can't do that for the rest of our lives, right? Or we won't be able to have kids or grandkids, right? So somehow we have to have a human interaction and stuff at some point in our lifetime. We just can't go around preventing and locking everything down to get disease. How do we evolve that is about the promotion of health. It's a whole different level. It's about becoming as healthy and well and bulletproof as possible. That's going to take us so far away from prevention. It's going to take us on the other side of treatment disease, where we can actually have the abundant life that we need to be. It's a true evolution. So here's what we need to do, is talk about the immunocompromised. That's a word that keeps coming up when we talk about this COVID-19, is all these immunocompromised. And truth be told is people who are truly immunocompromised should be scared of this virus. They should be concerned about this. But the answer is how we get into this is not becoming one of those immunocompromised. It's we have the ability to move out of that category of immunocompromised into the healthy range. It doesn't happen by accident, but it happens all the time. We have patients that come in my office every single day that are immunocompromised, even though they don't get sick. I'm going to share with you a special story at the end of how that actually plays. Probably one of the sickest people and some of the most immunocompromised person I know actually was able to come and actually become very healthy and well. So how does that happen is let's talk about the concept about how you get sick. You just don't get sick, you do sick. You allow sickness to come. Most people don't understand is becoming sick takes an equation. It's just not one or the other. You actually have to have two parts. And how I want to explain this to you has to do with taking these acorns. If I was to walk up to you in a street, say an acorn, what does this become? What will this grow into? Everyone obviously is going to say an oak tree, right? They always grow on oak trees. And the answer to that is yeah, maybe not, right? So if I took all of these acorns and stuff and just threw them out in my front yard, do you think they're going to grow into an oak tree? No, not every one. Some's going to land on concrete and they're going to wither away. Some's going to land on the grass and the grass is going to choke them out. And some are going to land in fertile soil. And then what's going to happen? They're going to grow into a wonderful, beautiful oak tree, as long as they have the right soil and they have the right nutrients. So the same thing happens with germs. Germs just don't cause illness, right? This virus does not cause people to get sick. There's the other part of the equation is there's that, like the acorn and the dirt, you need both of those. It's just you need a virus and you need a susceptible or weak host that's going to cause the problem. And this is where people are missing the boat. If we look at the statistics, so far we've seen there have been a lot of people that's been exposed, to the virus. And we want to talk about how can we limit our exposure. And then everyone wants to focus on at the far end, how many people have severe reactions and have actually died of the virus. But no one wants to talk about this middle section, which is the 90% of people that they have now tested positive that have had no symptoms at all. What are those? Those are the poor hosts. Those are the blacktop and the grass that these acorns landed in, that the acorns didn't cause a problem. So that's what we need to evolve and stuff, is how can we, more of us, get from this 90% to the 99%? If we can get that much of the population to 99%, this thing is going to basically go away on its own, because we're all going to be healthy enough to fight it off. That's where we need to be at. Because again, you're either moving towards the right side here where you're actually getting stronger, or you move more towards the left side where you're actually getting weaker. That's where we need to get you to. And this continuum is going in either direction. You're making choices every single day which direction you're going to be. So how can we get back to our superhero analogy? How can we get back to being healthy and bulletproof? Is kryptonite, right? Everyone knows what Superman did, or what kryptonite did to Superman. That was his weakness that caused him to be weak. So what I want to share with you is what your kryptonite is making you weak, making you immunocompromised, making you not be able to fight off those viruses or any viruses, making you more susceptible to lots of different diseases that your body is exposed to, because you're, again, not being in that healthy state that we need you to be in. So what are the things that are causing kryptonite? The kryptonite that is in all of us, is affecting all of us, is called stress. We have stress every single day. And if you had stress before this, you all know your stress is 10 times another level now that we have this COVID-19, whether you're not able to work, you have to restrict on all of your lifestyle activities. Those who are stuck inside, binge watching TV, all those things are unhealthy. I just saw a little meme just out recently that said, that they can't wait for the department stores to open because none of their clothes fit anymore, right? They need to buy new clothes. How did that happen? Because of the stress and the bad things we're eating. So we want to talk about what is your kryptonite. Because here's what I do know. When your body is under stress, and that means chronic stress on a daily basis, your body's in either rest and repair, where it's actually healing and taking care of itself, or it's in fight or flight, where it's reacting to stress. And when you're under fight and flight all the time, things happen in your body. It has to have an effect. And it's either this red area where everything's going up, or it's coming down. So what happens is, on this left-hand side is when you're under stress, your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, your muscle tone gets tight, blood sugar goes up, clotting factors increase, stomach acidity goes up, fear and anxiety goes up, and actually a term called subluxation, which we'll talk about in a minute, actually goes up. On the other side, these are things that all downregulate or decrease when you're under stress. Your immune system, we all know we're under stress, our immune system goes down. So all of this being shut up inside is causing our immune system to squash, which is causing more people to become sick. To see how this is, we're actually fulfilling this prophecy that we're all going to have these problems because we're just becoming more sick. Insulin sensitivity goes down, digestion goes down, all kinds of digestive problems, bone density, short-term memory, we start to forget things and stuff, doesn't click. Reproduction goes down, deep sleep goes down, and overall your health level decreases when we're exposed to chronic levels of stress. We know stress comes from three things: are your thoughts about this virus going to get me, toxins, what we're eating, and actually traumas from our body. So how can we change this story and this narrative is let's start changing about your kryptonite. How about we stop putting kryptonite around us and in our body to cause our weakness? So first of all, mindset. Let's talk about mental stuff. Let's stop limited thinking. Let's stop thinking that this virus is going to get us and wipe us out, because we know in reality that's not really going to happen, right? We know in reality, worrying about what's going on in these big cities, worrying about all these people dying and stuff, we can't change those things. The only thing we can do is change ourselves. So let's not focus on that. And let's stop even just holding grudges. That's not also a very healthy thing. What we can do is start changing and starting a new mindset. What about vision casting? What if we were sit and dream more, right? Didn't we feel great as kids when we just dreamt? That's a great thing. Alignment of actually trying to align ourselves with other people that think alike, instead of always think of align people who are complaining. Let's think of align people who are have the same positive attitude, and also gratitude. That's how I start my morning every morning, is giving thanks to the Lord for an amazing day and for the blessings he's going to give to us. That's how I start every day. It's amazing if you started on the right foot, how it changes your entire day. Something else we can do is sleep. Let's stop the kryptonite of e-fast. So don't take your cell phone, tablets, anything to bed. Keep them out of your bedroom. It's not where they're at. Your bedroom is for what? Sleeping, please. Try to eliminate stress, reading something relaxing. And please don't drink any alcohol before bed. That'll only cause less sleep. You don't go as in deep sleep, and it will cause you to sleep actually less. The other thing is, let's start sleeping the right way. Let's get at least 8 hours. Start to have your sleep sanctuary where it's dark and you have no light in there, which is really important. No distractions, and actually your sleep service. Make sure you have a good bed that actually help you. And the next thing is, let's talk about dietary things. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts. So let's do the good things, which is non-starchy vegetables, eating some fruit with vitamin C, meat, poultry, fish. Let's talk about eggs. Eggs are one of the best things. Don't forget about healthy fats. Coconut, any seeds and nut butters and stuff are great. Drink plenty of water. We need tons of water when we're under stress, and for your immune system, water flushes out your lymphatic system to keep it healthy and well. Don't do refined carbohydrates. Stay away from grains, sweeteners, bad vegetable oil, and also dairy products and stuff. So let's stay away from dairy products that actually cause more immune responses, so that we want to stay away from that. And please, 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 no sugars. Sugars just really wipe out your whole immune system, so try to stay away from those. And then let's start supplementing vitamins and stuff. If we feed our body, tons of research out there to show you, again, certain things that help your body to stay healthy and well, especially your immune system. They know people who have higher levels of vitamin D actually are less susceptible to this virus. We know that people who have vitamin D are not as obese. Vitamin D also helps us feel better. There's things like probiotics, echinacea, vitamin C, immunoplex, that all boost your immune system. Those are things we can take to make our armor even thicker and stronger, so we can actually withstand these viruses and stuff. And we have an opportunity at the very end where I can teach you actually how you can get those. And we know exercise. Exercise is a nutrient. We don't think about it that way, but it's absolutely true. If you don't move your body becomes weak, and it actually becomes more susceptible. So it's a required nutrient. It increases hormones, and it also helps out your circulation, especially your lymphatic flow. So here's what I want to talk about as a premise of actually how to get healthy and well. So first of all, always, is we have to understand is healthy is normal. We are designed to be healthy. And it's not all of a sudden that we are just at a certain age designed to be unhealthy. No. A great story is I have a gentleman that's in his 90s, mid-90s. He doesn't take hardly any, I don't think he takes any medications at all, has his mental faculty with him, is able to walk in and out of the office, and it's just a delight to be around. There's someone who's 90 years old, but we would all think that he should have, gazillions list of problems and all these medications, and the answer is that's not the truth. So we're designed to be healthy really up until our final years and days, right? That the body's immensely smart and knows how to stay healthy. We just have to allow that to work. And that we have a nervous system, the thing that controls your entire health. How is our body supposed to work and know when to work? It's your nervous system that controls all that. So that's what's really important to know about, and that's the part we need to balance out. Most people don't even know what the nervous system does, let alone how you can improve it. I want to tell you that in just a second. But we also are understanding is modern life is stressful, right? When we're under stress, we talked about the effects that stress has. But one of the things we talked about is it's causes subluxation. It causes a breakdown of the nervous system with your body. And we see a picture of like a circuit breaker. We know we're under lots of stress. Just like we plug so many things into a socket, what happens? It blows a fuse, and then all of a sudden your body, that wiring doesn't work anymore. And all of a sudden, the same thing happens to our body. When we're under stress, all of a sudden we get tension in our neck, and all of a sudden, boom, we have headaches, we have sinus problems, we have digestive issues. This is because it all comes from those blocked nerves that has to do with stress. This picture on the left-hand side over here shows a picture of the nerves and what they control. You see all the organs listed over there, your heart, lungs, digestive system, but all have nerves controlling it. And when those nerves become subluxated, blocked from stress, those nerves can't send healthy signals, and then your body's not going to react in a healthy way. That's what causes health problems. And the same thing happens with your immune system. Immune system gets nerve supply. But here's what we know is that less than 10% of your nervous system causes pain. Everyone was like, well, if I had a problem with the nerve, I would just know, and I would be in pain. And the answer is no, not all the time. And actually, the majority of the time, you're not going to have symptoms other than you're going to have a health problem that shows up. You're not going to be as healthy and strong as you should be. And you don't want to wait till that happens and becomes really severe before you start taking care of your body and actually improving your health. So this is where we have to start and understand that, again, what we need to do is start moving our body in a healthy direction, start taking care of our body with those steps we talked about, and actually start taking care of our nervous system, the part of the body that is responsible for the rest of our health, but it also is the most impacted by stress. So we need to start taking that, because all this kryptonite that we keep piling on our bodies is having a detrimental effect on our health, causing chronic health issues, is causing us to become weak. So when a virus starts circulating, guess what? It's going to hit the people that are the most chronic and actually are the sickest, and actually affect them the most. So how do we get healthy and well through this? Is we don't become one of the sick. We become one of the healthiest, and we actually stay healthy and well. So let's look at this, how we can become not the immune compromised. Let's talk about being healthy and well. In just a minute, I'm going to explain to you how I can be one of those people. What are the things that we do in our office that can save you years and money? Because we talked about how expensive healthcare can be. It's going to cost thousands and thousands and billions and trillions of dollars for us to dig out of this thing. But actually, a simple solution for you can be very cost effective and actually very economical to make those changes. But before I get into and how we can help you out, I want to share with you a testimony of someone who was one of the most immunocompromised people that actually showed the most dramatic results. So one of my favorite stories here is actually Lois here. Lois actually was a patient of ours that came to our office about 15 years ago. So the story about Lois is actually most of her family. If you don't, we live in a small town, and she lives in a small town in Imler, which is the typical U.S. small town. Hold on, somehow this got moved, my clicker moved. Lois grew up in a small town in Imler, and it's a typical Pennsylvania small town where basically, there is a church, there's a fire hall, and there's about 15 houses and stuff. So basically, Lois's thing is she raised the whole entire community of Imler. If anyone grew up in and around Imler, they know they spent summers at Lois's house after school at Lois's house. She was there to raise the whole town of Imler, and she did an awesome job. But a lot of those kids and a lot of those parents and stuff actually started to find my office and started to tell her about how healthy they were becoming. And she was kept saying, I'm fine, I don't really need to go. Her problem is she had chronic sinus infections. She had sinus infections just repeatedly. She would get one and give it an antibiotic and clear up, and she'd get another one. And I would go through, she'd be on 8 to 10 antibiotics in a winter's time. And they kept saying, come to see Dr. Chris. Dr. Chris can help you out. And she kept saying, no, I'm fine. She had a sinus infection one day, and she went to the doctor. The doctor was like, we have this new antibiotic. It's going to be stronger than the rest of them. We're going to give it to you, and it should wipe it out much quicker, much faster. So she took it home, took one single dose, and within 15 minutes, she was flat on the floor, not breathing. Yeah, I had to call the ambulance, and basically the ambulance rushed her to the hospital. They basically discovered that she was in liver failure from taking this one antibiotic. Basically, they life flighted her down to Johns Hopkins. Basically, Johns Hopkins did everything they can for her and said her liver is just not responding. They called in the family, they called in the priest and stuff, and basically, she was on her way of checking out. But some miracle, I think it's because of all the kids that she took care of in Imler, prayers poured on her, and some miracle happened that she was actually survived. She actually came back from a whisker of being dead. So she got back on her feet. They sent her home with about a list of 20 different medications, all kinds of things to suppress her immune system so her body wasn't rejecting the damaged liver. She came home and she felt even worse than ever because of all these medications. So only when the worst of the worst happens, sometimes people show up in my office, but I love them and take them all in. And Lois came in, I still remember that day, and she was like, everyone says I need to be here, so here I am finally. So she showed up with this long list of medications, and I looked at her deep in her eyes, and I said, Lois, I really want to help you out, but I don't know what to do. You're on all these medications. The only thing I know to do is take care of you, adjust your body, adjust your nervous system, free up the nerves so it can really heal, and we're going to see what your body can really do itself and heal. Truth be told is we adjusted her for probably the first year and a half, and we saw no changes at all. She didn't really see any differences, any improvements, but she was committed to the process. And she says, I just see such great results from all my friends and stuff. I want to stick with this. So it wasn't until about the start of that second year, all of a sudden she started to get a little bit more energy. And all of a sudden she didn't get as many sinus infections. And all of a sudden she didn't get any sinus infections. And all of a sudden she went to Baltimore down to Johns Hopkins, and the doctor was like, Lois, you're doing great. I think we can start taking you off some of these medications. And then 6 months down the road, they took her off more medications. And then another 6 months when she went back, they're like, we can take you even off more medications. And Lois is like, this is amazing. This is great. And all of a sudden we got her down to just about 2 medications that she's currently still on or taking. We got her off all the rest of them. And Johns Hopkins, one thing that they did say to Lois is I don't know what this chiropractor is doing up there, never stopped going. And until today, every week, Miss Lois still shows up in our office and we still help her out. Recently, she actually had to flare up a little bit of a liver issue and she couldn't really get under control. And we found out, guess what? She needed now an extra adjustment a week. And with that extra adjustment, she was gaining about 20 pounds of fluid. Within about 2 weeks, she lost all 20 pounds with that extra adjustment. That's the only changes that she did. So it shows how her body responds, how her nervous system responds. And guess what? She's still out and about. And guess what? She's still been in the public and she's still not getting sick. And, you know, she has really, again, if you look at her diagnosis, clinically, she should be really concerned about this COVID virus, but I know her body is so healthy and so much stronger than it was before. I think she has a little risk because her immune system is so apart. And the truth is this is possible for everyone, but just don't be a Lois. Don't wait for it to get really bad before you come to the office. So the next testimony I want to kind of share with you has to do with one of my favorite patients is my crush. There's this special 17, 18-year-old young girl that comes in on a regular basis, and she brings me little heart notes, love notes and stuff that she makes at school for me. So her name is Morgan, and I just love Morgan and stuff, just the energy that she brings in our office. And here's the quick Morgan story is this poor girl is a true superhero. She has all of the potential and amazing just to light up a room. That's her superpower. She comes in, everyone knows Morgan is here, and everyone is excited to see her. But Morgan actually started off life pretty rough. She actually was born with Down syndrome. She had lots of health issues, spent lots of time out in Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. And she, for most of her life, went regularly to have health issues dealt with and addressed out there. Her mom brought Morgan to us about a year and a half ago. And Morgan, as all teenagers and stuff, was pretty shy. She was pretty quiet. She didn't really know what to think about this new office, this new thing. But she just knew that Morgan didn't feel well. She had lots of problems, didn't sleep well, just was not a healthy person. So we started working with Morgan, and the first couple of things we noticed is Morgan kind of really lit up and stuff. She started to have more energy, started to feel more abundant. We gave her some supplements and stuff. She got even healthier to boost her immune system. All of a sudden now she doesn't have to go to Pittsburgh as much anymore. All of a sudden when you go out there, she's having normal well checkups instead of having health issues. And this is a thing that actually not just affected Morgan because of all the sick time, it affected her family. Her family, every time she got sick, caused stress in that family. She caused, you know, issues that need to be dealt with and stuff. And not that it was far from Morgan's, it was just, it takes a lot of stress and strain. So now all of a sudden when our family does not have sickness all the time, they have more resources, they have more time to do the things they want to do, which is enjoy being a family. So how do we help Morgan out? It's not that we did anything special. We just have very unique tests that help us look at the underlying cause of the problem. We can actually identify with each person has a weakness, that chink in their armor, in this immune force field that's around us, that we have systems that we can look at it and see if there's some type of physical stress, mental subluxation, or even a dietary nutritional thing that's holding you back from being healthy. And we can find the underlying cause. When you find the cause, that's how you can help things like Morgan and like Lois become healthy and well. So what I want to do is talk about how we actually turn knowledge into action. And this is what it's all about and stuff, is if you listen to this presentation and you feel inspired to get healthy and well, and you start to see is, hey, I want to be like Lois, I want to be like Morgan, I want to start to not have fear this virus is going to get me, that I think I can become healthy and well and actually live a life without fear and have abundance and stuff. And you want to help how we can, or have help in doing that. I want to actually help you turn knowledge into action. At Live Well Wellness Center, we have a lot of opportunities, a lot of programs that can help you out depending on what level you're looking for. If you're looking for overall health improvement and stuff, I really recommend that we actually come get you in and actually do an evaluation. We can actually see where the underlying cause of the problem is, like we did for Lois, and like we did for Morgan, where we can actually get you healthy and well. You know, we said, again, an evaluation like we do with computer scans, evaluations and testing and doctor's time usually would cost thousands of dollars. You know, it's very expensive. We also have nutritional consultations. We have Veronica, our nutritional specialist, can sit down and figure out if there's a nutritional component that's lacking for you. If you need vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D to keep you healthy, well, echinacea or zinc. we can do that. And again, looking at nutritional evaluations can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or if it's just even you want to try to lose weight, you understand being overweight now because you've been sitting for the last couple of weeks and months and stuff, that you want to get healthy. Well, we have an opportunity to evolve into our phenomenal weight loss management program. We actually can drop 40, 50 pounds off of most people and get you back to being less susceptible to this. Again, that's a couple $1,000 program. But what we want to do is actually offer you a discount. But one of the things that we found out is one of the biggest reasons, remember how we said number 3 reason that people do not get healthy and holds them back is because of procrastination. They put off of actually getting healthy and well. And we want to tell you that we can help. Is we want to actually lower all the barriers and stuff. We understand that everyone's stressed out. We don't want finances to be a stress. So here's what I know is if you or a family member really wants to get help and need help with your health and stuff, reach out to us. Either call our office here at 624-0606 and talk to one of our professionals here that can actually get you set up for an appointment. We can do that either live in the office. Yes, we're still taking patients and helping people through this crisis. We can do it virtually. I can talk to you over the telephone or Zoom. Or if you want to do the same thing with our nutritionist to figure that out, we can also get you help out with that. Or if it's something just looking for supplements, if you just want to get a supplement thing, we can actually do that. You can stop in the office, pick up some supplements, or we can recommend some things. We want to help you out however we can. So here's what I want to do is if you take action with this, and if you watch this and if you call our office by the end of April, normally it costs $120 to come in our office and do evaluation. If you call the office and say, I watched this Better Way, Dr. Chris, I want to join your team and actually get back to being healthy and well, we're going to give it to you for $45, that evaluation. If you are interested in our nutritional program and stuff, call Veronica. Usually is, again, an $85 fee for her. We'll offer it for $65. But you have to mention the discount. You have to mention this a Better Way presentation. Or if you're looking to do our weight loss program, call Veronica. Again, she can do that even virtually. She can teach you even over the phone how to do this program. Again, we'll knock off about $115 off of that program if you just mention a better way and ways that we want to get healthy while you watch this. So again, we're here to help you out. You just need to take action. Love and encourage all of you guys. We're all going to make this through. It's just whether we make it through healthier, and that's what we want to encourage you to do. We look forward to seeing your office. If you have any questions or concerns, even call our office or type it down here in the Facebook, and we would be back to address those. So take care, everyone. Stay healthy and well, and love to help you out.